I'm superficial, but I just don't get confidence from that part of me. But
Right.
that part of
Right.
me is a part of what I do in the whole big piece
Right.
of the thing, but just me trying to be like really literal when it comes down to confidence, to which I define the confidence as my uncertainty of if I can do that thing. I need to be reminded that I can do that thing. And so I am reminded by that, by the fact my track record. You I've been out here. I have done some different things. I have survived a lot of near deaths, right? And so I just need that reminder, and that I get that most effectively through my community. Now, when we're talking about how do you, okay, so you can do it. The confidence is there's no doubt in your mind that you can do it, but you're exhausted, or you're grieving right now, or you aren't getting paid for this in the way that you feel like you should, or you're angry, you got life or whatever. Like, how do you show up energetic? Because that's a part of like what I do very well. Like, people like, yo, it's just something about your energy, it's just your energy.
Yep.
And I have had to get really shrewd and smart about how to monetize my energy, because people were benefiting from something that took a lot out of me that I wasn't benefiting from. So then that's another conversation where my superficial really kind of lights that fire, in the sense
Mm-hmm.
of, now how do I feel like it? How do I make myself pretend to be happy about participating in this?
Right.
Is I look good. That's where I depend on my what I
The
put on. Yep.
Mhm.
All right, I
Hey,
know.
y'all, and welcome to Let's Talk Sis. I'm Shekinah, your host, and as we spend time together, I can promise you three things. I'll be honest, I'll make you laugh, and I won't hold back. Let's Talk Sis is your essential girl talk destination where you'll hear about life from the perspective of a Black woman in America, as our stories often go untold. I can assure you, while honest, we are a community for growth and love. Remember to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. Now sit back, relax, and let's talk, sis.
Hello, hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. Welcome back. I am so excited, y'all. We are back with another episode of Let's Talk Sis, your podcaster's favorite podcast. Okay. And y'all, as always, I'm so excited to be back in the building. It's crazy because as many times as I've done this, you would think I would get over it, or I just wouldn't be nervous or excited, but I always am. It's always something new and fresh. So this week, I have one of my good girlfriends. We've become so close as friends and as coworkers over the past couple months. Her name is Allison Moore, also known as Allison the comedian. Hey, girl.
Hey, hey, hey. How you doing, sis?
I'm good, sis. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here. Like, I'm on the Let's Talk Sis podcast, period. I remember when I would get the, hey, we got a new podcast, and I'm like, oh, that is so cool. And now I'm up here. Hey.
Hey, girl. Welcome. It's only right that I have you in the building. Let's Talk This is all about creating space for women who look like us on a daily basis. I really want us to have a platform to tell our stories and share with the audiences what we're working on, what we've been through, and hopefully to inspire others to just be great, like the two of us sitting here today. So, you ready to get
Period.
into it?
I am. Thanks for
All
having me.
right. All right, y'all. So, this podcast is ever evolving, and we're always trying new things and trying to basically set us up for success. So, I finally got some new segments for y'all. And this first segment is called Show Off Sis. Cue the music. Now, this segment is where I am going to be sure to tell you the caliber of women that we are talking to today. And I'm going to start by reading Miss Allison's bio. So, Allison the comedian is a vibrant, hilarious host of More Laughing in the Morning show, a morning show where comedy meets motivation. As a comedian, educator, businesswoman, and communication expert, Allison brings her signature mix of comedy, expertise, and real talk motivation to every episode. helping viewers level up their lives one laugh at a time. With a career spanning human resources, corporate training, banking, investor relations, and entertainment, having shared the stage with stand up comedians such as Sinbad, Allison delivers high energy, fun, and engaging content that educates and empowers. Backed by a cast of experts and comedians, More Laughing in the Morning Show turns TV into a moment, one that is funny and transformational. And she's not alone. The More Laughing in the Morning Show features an incredible lineup of seasoned regular experts, inspiring guests, comedy sketch actors, and beloved on-set gang, all coming together to bring insight, motivation, and laughter to your morning routine. Hey girl, how does all that feel when you
Hey.
hear that? Does it sit with you?
I'm like, wow. Yeah, that's me. That's literally me. That's what I did. It's just um when someone reads it in that way, right? Like it took you what, 30 seconds, 45 seconds to read the bio, but you summarized 10, 15 years of life. And
Yeah.
for me, it puts things into perspective. Hardships just keep going because at some point somebody's going to be able to add that in as a credit in your bio.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really awesome perspective. And I don't think we think about that, in the
Mhm.
moment of doing the grind and in the moment of the
Yeah.
work and the hard stuff. It's like, you know what? No, somebody's going to read this back in my praises one day or in honor of, like you said, the accomplishments or the things that I'm doing. So,
Mhm.
congratulations.
Thank you.
All
Shout out
right.
to my look, student loans. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
them student loans is ugh. However, when you put it in the bio, okay, girl.
Got it. Got you. All that education working together for something. Amen. Mama
Mhm.
will be proud.
Mama
So,
would be proud.
yes. Let's move on to our next segment, and this is called Let's Talk Scent. So, as
Okay.
y'all know, I always like for our guests to bring a candle or some sort of scent, something, just for us to set the mood. So, Allison, what you got going over there?
Okay. So I was like, well, I want to bring something pretty because some of my stuff, they look like what they've been through. But this one,
Yeah.
can you see it? I got my
Yeah.
light here.
Cute.
So
North
it's a
Pole.
seasonal. Yeah, it's North Pole Punch.
Uh-huh.
It smells really good. It's like some sugar. It smells sweet, berry-ish.
Mm-hmm.
The holiday bit cranberry ishy kind of
Mm-hmm.
smell. It's pretty. It smells pretty. So like
Yeah.
for me, like scents when I'm trying to like feel in my feminine and my pretty girl era, it's like these are the type of fragrances,
That's important.
yeah,
Does
that
it
I need
have
around me.
any scent notes that are on there? Does it list
Yeah,
it?
so it actually says Mary cherries, jolly cranberry, and a dash of sugar.
Okay. I was trying to see. I created this list,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to see if any of those scents were on there: cherry, cranberry, or sugar. And it's not, so I need to expand my list,
Oh
obviously,
wow.
when we use ChatGPT. But either
Oh.
way, I love that. Burning something to get you into the feminine is definitely necessary
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Yeah, what
warm
you got?
spring sunshine candle.
Ooh.
It's kind of doing the same thing, honestly. It's like
Mm-hmm.
summery, springy. It feels light. It feels fun,
Mm-hmm.
exciting. It has white peach, daisy, granny said apple, rainwater, melon, garden flowers, and amber scent notes. So it's a
Oh,
lot.
that sounds. Yeah, it's a lot, but those are my notes. Like
Yeah.
it's warm what?
White peach, excuse me, white peach, which is
Mm-hmm.
like yummy.
Yeah.
Granny said apple,
Mm-hmm.
rainwater, melon, garden florals, and amber scent notes.
And the name of it is what?
It's called Warm Spring Sunshine.
Oh yeah, I need that.
Yeah, it says amber. Okay, so on my fun fact list, I got amber on here. Okay, and it says
Okay.
amber is fossilized tree resin that has been used in incense for centuries, and it's warm and comforting, and it promotes relaxation and sensuality.
Oh
So
yeah. Let me go get that. Let me get
definitely
some
giving those
amber.
feminine
Yeah.
notes.
It's giving.
It's definitely giving. All right, y'all. Well, that is what we got going for our moods for today. Let us know in the
Yeah.
comments what are y'all burning. What's this y'all like going? And it's cold outside, so hopefully y'all got
Yeah.
some summer, warm, bright, fun scents. Okay.
That's why your sunshine was nice.
Yeah, right. It's perfect
Hmm.
sometimes. So, okay. So it's time to break the ice. Before we get into
Oh,
our final segment, it's time for our icebreaker question of the week. Allison doesn't know what I'm going to ask her. So, you ready?
okay. Right. I'm like, how are we define this breaking the ice? Is it like we gonna soften it first and then, or we just going in with the sledgehammer, or is it just straight heat is gonna melt it on its own? Like I'm like,
It's nothing
what
too much.
levels?
I don't want to scare you away. I want you to come.
Okay,
I
because
want
I'm
you to
scary, Sherry. Okay.
So, tell me something that you like to do to help you boost your confidence. If you're not feeling you get on stage, I'm sure you a lot, you're performing, you're a leader in many business situations for your own company and others. So what do you do when you need a boost of confidence?
When I need to boost the confidence, it's interesting because we kind of talked about it in the opening. It's about my bio. Like for me, I get my confidence from my memory, right? Like remembering, oh girl, you did that, you can be able to do this. And I'm like, you know what? That's right. That's right. Actually, I can knock because I did such and such. Like this,
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat this because I got the experience from that, or I did so well because of that, or whatever.
Mhm.
So it's definitely that. Now, a lot of times I myself may have short-term memory, right? Like because I'm in the funk or I'm in the fear, it's not recalling as quickly.
Yeah.
And so I depend heavily on the strategy or the long-term way that I live so that I can be able to be boost my confidence when I need it. Is it's about my community and who's around me, right?
Mm.
So I have my inner circle are people that they have been with me for a while. So when I am down, I am unsure. I have people that can pour into me like, well, girl, didn't we do that? Remember when we was, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
well, you did that. And like, do you know what? You right. You right. I did do that. I'm
They
so
can pour
glad you
back
was there
into
with
you.
me. Thank you for coming with
Yeah.
me to that because you could remind me. So long term, what do I do to boost my confidence is I invest in my relationships and I keep people around me that I can depend on when I am down for the count. They can help me remember you can do this. You're going to be all right. You've done it before, even if you haven't
Mhm.
done it before. Um, you've never been let down before when you put your faith in yourself. So it's that circle.
I love that. And you went in a different direction than sometimes you have these questions in your head and you like, okay, they're gonna say this or say that. But
Oh,
I love that. No, because I was thinking, and I guess a little superficial, like I was like, oh yeah, she's gonna say she played this song or, she puts on this certain outfit because a lot of times people think of confidence as an outward thing,
mm,
something that can be affected. I mean, it can be by your
yeah.
mood or how you look
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But I love that you have a little bit of a strategy in
Yeah.
your confidence, and it compensates for, like you said, weak points because if you solely relied on your memory, right? If you solely were like, well, every time I'm down, I'm just going to recall or read my resume over, that negative self talk may already be a little bit too loud in your head,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To allow you to overcome it. So you have a backup plan or a backup strategy of surrounding myself with the right people,
Mm-hmm.
implementing the right plans and systems in my life so that I don't even have to think, I just go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't really room, and not to say you're not perfect, nobody's perfect, but
Mm-hmm.
having that strategy, it lessens that room for you to fall out of whack or fall out of confidence. So I love that. I really like that, and I think that's a really smart approach that I want to incorporate. And I think a lot of our listeners should probably try and figure out, like, how do I fail proof my confidence? Because I think that's a lot of times a hindrance for taking the next step, whatever that step might be. You doubt yourself or doubt the process or doubt the outcome. So what do I got to put in place? So I got this. I know I can do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's good. I'm glad that you shared that with me because I am superficial, very much so. But
The
I
lady with
am
the TV show.
all right. What? I'm so humble. I'm just, this is not really about me. Um, No, seriously. So I'm superficial, but I just don't get confidence from that part of me. But
Right.
that part of
Right.
me is a part of what I do in the whole big piece
Right.
of the thing, but just me trying to be like really literal when it comes down to confidence, to which I define the confidence as my uncertainty of if I can do that thing. I need to be reminded that I can do that thing. And so I am reminded by that, by the fact my track record. You I've been out here. I have done some different things. I have survived a lot of near deaths, right? And so I just need that reminder, and that I get that most effectively through my community. Now, when we're talking about how do you, okay, so you can do it. The confidence is there's no doubt in your mind that you can do it, but you're exhausted,
Mhm.
or you're grieving right now, or you aren't getting paid for this in the way that you feel like you should, or you're angry, you got life or whatever. Like, how do you show up energetic? Because that's a part of like what I do very well. Like, people like, yo, it's just something about your energy, it's just your energy.
Yep.
And I have had to get really shrewd and smart about how to monetize my energy, because people were benefiting from something that took a lot out of me that I wasn't benefiting from. So then that's another conversation where my superficial really kind of lights that fire, in the sense
Mhm.
of, now how do I feel like it? How do I make myself pretend to be happy about participating in this?
Right.
Is I look good. That's where I depend on my what I
The
put on. Yep.
mhm.
All right, I know I got my such and
The
such and my
hype
such.
song.
I know, absolutely. I'm gonna get my hype. So, all right, that's how I'm gonna get my energy from,
Yeah.
for sure. It's definitely those external factors. Definitely music, definitely what I got on.
Yeah.
Definitely my hair,
Good.
how I'm looking.
Yeah, that's so, and your hair is real cute.
Thanks,
That's
honey.
such a good breakdown. That's such a good breakdown because there is the confidence, and then there's the energy. There's the will
Yeah.
to do it. There's
Mm-hmm.
that push to do it. And I'm taking that in right now because with this podcast, it's not that I don't think I can get an episode up. It's not that I don't think I can create content. It's not that I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I can edit the episode. I don't be having the energy. I don't be
Right.
wanting to do it, right? I don't
Yeah.
have the that motivate. I just want to record and be done with it, right? But there are
Yeah.
tons of subsequent steps that and initial steps to even get to us here right now on this Zoom. And
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is so valuable. Like, okay, get some systems, get some energy, put on
Yeah.
some shoes on your feet or something. They say shoes make you want to
Yeah.
be more active, or are proven to trick your brain into being active versus
Yeah.
having on just socks up under the cover or whatever those little external factors
Let
are.
me Can I
Yeah.
jump in? I want to add something else to it that's like another layer of this, because I really do take it serious. I am a filmmaker, right? Like, yes, I'm the host of the More Laughing in the Morning show, but I'm the producer of the More Laughing in the Morning show. Like, I like to put things together that people can now be entertained and experience for an amount of time or whatever. I do that in my life, right? So I am going to curate this scene. I
Mm-hmm.
know that I need an infusion of energy scene, because I got something to
Yeah.
do. So yes, music, yes, how I look, yes, the lights. And so I know that for me, I need sunlight. I need
Mm-hmm.
sunlight to stay in a good place.
Yeah.
When it's dark, I want to get more laughing after dark. And it's something,
Yeah.
a whole different something. So then therefore that then impacts my decision for where I live. I need a house that got a lot of lights. I need to live on the side of the street where the sun goes up, the sun goes down a certain kind of way. Like, I'm that much more. I'm so, because I don't want to be in a space. My work that I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
I know is going to open up something for me in the future. I just don't know what it is. And so I don't want to put myself in a place where I'm not going to be able to get to the getting when my time comes. For example, if an investor or somebody drops this money out the way, like, yo, we need this amount of shows and this amount of time, or we need this amount of books or this amount of script, I don't want to be like, well, I got to go find a place that I can get my space. I already got it. I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. I live, I eat, and I commune with people in an environment that I can turn this joint on. You give me 24 hours, I'm in the lab and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So I curate my life. Now, another thing that I learned, because by nature of what I do with the corporate comedy side of me, I find myself, I work a lot with physicians in healthcare. You know, doctors will say, I do conferences. I'm just in this, I find myself in the mental health, the wholeness, the wellness space a
Mm-hmm.
lot. And so I got this phenomenal um layer of how to live my life, how to think, mindset shifting for preparation and energy from
Okay.
this physician. Shout out to Dr. Ramos. She's in Puerto Rico and she's a burn surgeon. And she told me to be more mindful of my calendar and how I plan what I'm doing around that. So, and that would be something that I would recommend to like you and to different people who are like, you know, I got this vision, but just again, getting the energy. So it's like, be mindful of the days of the calendar, right? I got, like, I just talked about the environment that I'm trying to produce or create in, but then also the day of the week and the month is very important. She's like, pay attention to your energy time, right? Like those of us who have cycles, you know,
Yeah.
we know that we may, our body puts out a certain thing at a certain time. We know a couple of days leading up to that, the hormones are saying your body is about to put on. So we have this attitude. We need to be patient. We need to pay attention to them 4 days in the month where we
Yeah.
killing it.
And
Every
we got
month,
all the
I got a
productivity.
week where your girl is killing it. I'm like, so create, and I just wouldn't know. And I didn't pay attention to Dr. Ramos said, because I'm like, you know, there are some months I'm like, yo, I killed this was a great. And she's like, that time, pay attention to. So
Yeah.
now you, for example, me, for example, maybe we should consider batch recording the second week of every month because that's our good week before the third week, which is our bad week, before the fourth week, which is our
Yes.
cleansing week, right?
Amen. Yes.
And so it's curating your mood, your environment, and also
Yes.
being very aware of what you produce. Cause you know, we're coming around the sun every day. And over time, days, months, weeks, years, we can really learn from that data. And now we can use that to our good.
Yes. You are confirming so many things for me in my personal life. I literally just made a calendar because this is the year of Let's Talk Sis, right? I'm really trying to take this
Nice.
podcast seriously and foolproof the system, right? Not
Yeah.
allow myself to get in my own way, as we spoke about on last week's episode. And really just what do I need to do so I can be successful, right? And it's
Mhm.
paying attention to when am I going to be productive? I am not a robot.
Mhm.
And I think,
Mhm.
my mind, I want to be, I'm used to not really 9 to 5, but I'm used to going to a job every day and
Mhm.
every day you perform in this kind of way. On the weekends, you don't. You do what you want to do with your
Mhm.
family. On Monday, you come back, but in an entrepreneurial sense, every day
Mhm.
of the week is a work day, right? Or it can be
Mhm.
utilized as a work day. So really efficiently planning out the days of the week in an efficient, responsible, respectful way of who you are and how you're going to show up, right? And so for
Mhm.
me, it was okay, what is one task for Let's Talk Sis that I can do every single one task a day? That's it.
Mhm.
Not trying to, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do okay, let me try and sit down and do this. No, Mondays are my editing and posting days. I'm gonna edit the
Mhm.
podcast, I'm gonna post it, I'm gonna get it out on all the different social media platforms. I'm gonna send it to the guests, all the different things responsible with posting. On
Mhm.
Tuesdays, I'm on socials. I'm responding. I'm replying to socials on this, on that, and I have a certain kind of goal. And also, it allows me to feel accomplished, right, at the end of the day,
Mhm.
because instead of, dang, I ain't did nothing for the podcast because I'm overwhelmed with decision fatigue.
Mhm.
Today's the day for this, tomorrow's the day for that, and it really helps, like you're saying, paying attention to that calendar, and it all goes back to boosting that confidence because I know for a fact I can show up, I can get the work done, and I'm gonna put my sneakers on to do it, or I'm gonna blast my music to do it, or whatever I gotta do. So
Mhm.
thank y'all. That was really great.
Well, listen, you pulled it out of me. Thank you very much.
We ain't even got into our Let's Talk topic of the
Love
week
it.
yet. We've been talking. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. So, speaking of confidence, it's time for our segment, y'all. Let's talk this segment. We're getting all into Allison's business, and I'm so excited. So, my first question for you, and we read a multitude of different things in your bio around some
Mhm.
of the work that you're doing, but I first want to talk about the fundamental, the base layer of you being a comedian. So,
Mhm.
what gave you the balls really to do something like that? Because being a comedian is not for the weak. Like getting on the stage, getting behind the mic, and being vulnerable and telling jokes. I'm sure that there's a lot of skill that comes with that. But there's also a lot of natural talent that you kind of have to have. So, what sparked that interest, and what gave you the confidence to step into a space like that?
Um, so many things. I was told I was a comedian. I didn't wake up and say I want to be a comedian. In fact, I had not gone to my first comedy show till I was 31. I
Oh
didn't
wow.
grow up on comedy. I didn't have a favorite comedian. I just be making up stuff even now. Well, now I do, but before, I don't know. I didn't. Um, just personally, my mother became a born again Christian when I was probably in about when I was in 8th grade, between in middle school time. And she's very much so just came home one day with felt like I'm saved now and y'all don't listen to secular music, TV. We don't do
No
that.
doubt.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Mm.
wait a minute. There's a new artist named Little Kim that just came out, ma'am. I got plans.
No, you definitely not
Girl,
listening. Yeah.
right. Like, wait a minute. You got saved. You met Jesus. This is what this got to do with me. I had plans, girls, going to the summertime, high school. I talk about this in my comedy special. I got a comedy special on Prime Video, Black Card, right? And I talk about my Black experience. Like, I was going to high school. My mama got saved. I had a boy I knew I was going to hump. Now I won't have sex, but we was going to dry heave. We going to dry hump.
Oh Lord.
Like, I'm like, what is happening here? Ma'am. But anyway, so because of that, I didn't watch comedy. And also, a little secret I'm gonna let you in on. When I grew up, I was dark skinned.
Wow.
I
Like
know.
chocolate?
Can you imagine? And
Oh
so,
my god.
you're right. But
And for those of you listening, she's still dark skinned to this day.
surprise, surprise. But yeah, so I grew up in the South, and I grew up I'm an 80s baby, but my coming to adulting was in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just harder for me out here in these streets as a little skinny, dark skinned girl in the South. I was getting teased for my complexion, so I was having to develop other kind of skills like charisma, roll off my back. You ain't going to see me sweat or whatever. Um, but in that world, in that space, and with that experience that I was having, I associated a lot of comedy to making people feel bad.
Mm,
And then when I'm seeing in the 90s, Def Comedy Jams and stuff like that, like the funniest times were when they was calling out somebody in the audience. Well,
right.
see, I was already dealing with that. I ain't need that. So
Real
comedy for
life.
me did not exist exactly. Real life, we good because I got this. Y'all. Mm-mm. So
Yeah.
I just didn't grow up on comedy. I didn't see comedy. It just was not a thing. It wasn't a career. It wasn't interesting. It wasn't anything. But I've always had this personality.
Okay.
So I've always been funny. Everybody that I'm with, we always laughing. I just didn't know that they weren't laughing when I wasn't around. I'm like, well, shit. Well, what y'all doing when I'm not here? Like, what?
Yeah.
How does
Yeah.
your brain work? So you don't never have a joke in there? Like you always like
Okay.
that? Like
It's
it just,
scary.
I didn't know. Right? I didn't know that I had a special gift,
Sure.
and the way that I processed information or responded to something was funnier than someone else, so that they couldn't do the same thing. So
Sure.
that being said, the comedy confidence piece was my friend and I, we were doing this business by about 12, 15 years ago. And we decided that we wanted to like take on some philanthropic things. We gave back to children that were in the adoption system, foster care. They didn't have, it was in holiday time. And so those students, those kids, they don't have like luggage, and they go from house to house with a trash bag or with the 3 things that the people before them let them take with them. And so
Yeah.
we bought suitcases and filled up toys, and we just did initiatives like that. And then we worked with this organization called Exceeds that works with the homeless, because we felt like it's our responsibility to take care of our community. And when we become millionaires, we're gonna do all of this stuff. Well, we felt like, that the Lord told us one day in prayer, why don't you show me what you're gonna do with this $100 if I give you 1 million? Because
Right.
you ain't stewarded this 100 I done
Yeah.
gave you yet. I
Yeah.
ain't seen no budget yet. So I'm like, okay, Lord, Well, what we had was our popularity. So we do this event and I'm the host because my personality, not because I know that hosting is a thing. And it's
Sure.
my business. So I'm hosting my homegirl. She's doing the other parts of, the design and setting up the room and whatever. So we have an event and we hired a comedian. And at
Mm.
the end of the night, we got about 100 people in this room. And at the end of the night, the comedian says, y'all didn't even really need me because Allison been cracking jokes and been a comedian the whole day. So now here I am with a
Like
human
what?
resources degree. Absolutely. I went to college. And
I'm
that's my
not no
thing. I'm going to
comedian.
college. Right. I'm going to be an HR director after I work at this company making a 3% increase for the next 30 years of my life. And you are going to just see me at the top, mister. And so I'm like, a comedian? What you mean a comedian? And it was like this room full of family and friends and people who had this heart to serve the community anyway. So it was a nice audience.
Sure.
Everybody in the room is giving this like, yeah, girl, you funny. It was like everybody was like, well, you been funny. We've been telling you. And I'm like, oh, y'all was laughing with me and not at me. So that's how the comedy piece, how I accepted
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, that's why, somebody like, that's why I asked you to MC my wedding. Oh, wow, that's why. Yeah, that's why I let you teach Bible study.
Funny.
Oh, well, that's why. That's why we asked you to do the training. Oh,
Oh,
I thought it was because I was smart. No, girl, you ain't smart. Your mama ain't smart. So that was like my experience into comedy. So then I
yeah.
get in there because I'm like, well, yeah, I can do it because I got the confidence. I know I always make people laugh. I didn't know that nobody else could do it, but now
Mhm.
I know I can do it. So sure, when somebody say, because people are like, I would have been scared to death. Well, I didn't know to be scared. People are like,
Sure.
well, all right, so this is what you should do for 5 minutes. You can come and do my such and such. You just do some comedy.
Mhm.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Now, obviously, when I got there, I realized, oh no, there's more than natural talent. There's skill here. Then there is politics with this. Then there is a like, those things happen because I stepped into the door. So I didn't wait to get permission. I didn't know I needed permission. And I also didn't wait for someone to tell me except after they made it aware to me that that's the thing. Um
Mhm.
so therefore, like, I didn't have the time to not be confident. Like, I just didn't even think of
Mhm.
it that way. I was like, all right, well, shoot, I'll do it. And now
Right.
obviously once I get in it, then people put their fear in you. I could have never, I would have died. I'm like, oh shoot, should I have died? Oh, wait a minute.
No.
Dang, I missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, I'm scared too. You know what I mean? Because I'm
No, you
scary,
good.
sure,
I'm fine.
but I didn't know. And I can't remember what was the other part. Did I answer what you were saying? Because you said something. You asked me something else I thought was good, but then I rambled.
No, that's good. It was just, what gives you the balls, what gives you the confidence to decide to do something like that. So, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Now it's like, okay, so now I'm out here, right? I'm in the deep water, and people are telling me and affirming for me that what I am doing and willing to do is something that they would never do. So now I'm leaning into, I am willing to do something that other people are scared to death to do that has to be valuable.
Yep. Yeah.
Anytime we could do something somebody else can't do,
Yeah.
anytime we could do something somebody else is not willing to do. So
Mhm.
for me, and I'm like, but making people laugh is like dope. Like, yo, that's so great. And y'all are telling me, you're telling me you would rather die than stand in front of these 12 people and say that same thing that you would say to your
Mhm.
friend and laugh in the kitchen. That's fine. I ain't trying to talk you out of it. I'll do it.
Yep.
I'll get the check. But
Yep.
so that is then what it became. And when I measured what I can make out of this experience or this moment versus what I got to do for my 9 to 5, then that then created this. Oh, let me make sure I can get good at it and do more of this because if I got to do something to feed these kids, I'll just do the thing that I don't really have to think about doing. I don't got to think about timing
Yeah.
and just to show up energetic. I don't have to think about that.
Yeah.
I'll just figure out how to do that as opposed to do some of these other things that I don't really enjoy doing, especially once I can figure out how to make the same or more money, which is what I've been able to learn how to do.
Yeah. So you're kind of getting into it a little bit, but tell me, what is that the mindset shift, from, like you said, I went to college. I went to school. I'm highly educated. I put my time in those books. I got my credit hours. What is the mindset shift of going from what we would call a corporate girly to now being a female boss entrepreneur? Not only are you building a career for yourself, but you're building a network and a corporation to bring other people along. What do you have to do to really shift your mind to confidently, like you said, walk through that door. And that must be the theme of today's episode, confidence. But
I
but
love it.
talk to me a little bit about that.
So the mindset shift in two ways. The mindset shift, there was a mindset expansion and shift from me thinking that college was the means to working for somebody else.
Yep.
That was my first, like, wait a minute, I got a degree. I was really proud of that.
Yep.
Because of my story to go back and finish
You
school.
should be.
Thank you. And so I'm like, I did this degree to get the job. So once I recognized that the degree is not in vain, in fact, it's really valuable and that much more so helpful for me to be an entrepreneur, that eliminated the barrier of, well, I'm not going to go and go that direction because I put in so much to be corporate. It's I'm sorry, please.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want to emphasize that point because a lot of us, especially Black women,
Mm-hmm.
we are raised to go to school to get the job, right? And
Yeah.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with that trajectory, but I think it is a powerful mindset shift to, in fact, you can do both, right? You can go to school and get a degree and be an entrepreneur. And I think a lot of times the rhetoric nowadays is pick one or the other. There's no point in going to school and wasting your money on all those degrees.
Mm-hmm.
You can just get the experience, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's, well, the experience ain't gonna do no good because they're not gonna look at your resume if they don't have the degree. So I think it's a cool point to give people permission, if you will, to
Mm-hmm.
embrace all facets of it. You
Yeah.
can have gone to school and put in that time and be educated. And like you're saying, now that education can support whatever those natural talents, desires, skills, etc., that you have in an entrepreneurial space. So I just wanted to, kind of point that out and, yeah, free some people. Amen.
Listen, I love this conversation, girl, because I'm like, look, we talked about this yesterday. What's a chat GPT where it's unlocking? It's unlocking. And I
Okay.
hope this
Yes.
is helpful. So I'm so excited. So a couple of points. Yes. See, reimagine what college is, the purpose of it, and what it can do for you.
Yep.
And I have two children in college right now. And so that alone, I am explaining to my kids and to other people, I am not sending my children to college for the purpose of them getting a job, because they can come and work for me. I'm running companies. We
Same.
have
That's
I'm
my
gonna have we're running companies, so my kids gonna have a job. But what I was not able to give my children when I was raising them was experiences traveling, experiences with higher economic groups, experiences with managing money and understanding the economy and the impact and social justice. I didn't have that. And them being in school puts them with peers that come from all around the world. And in 4 years, they can get experience through their relationships with
correct.
others that are like minded,
Correct.
more than they could have had, that I was able to give them. So for me, it is like, go to school, meet you some friends. This is a joke, but it's real. Go to school and meet you some friends that got boats.
And
You should.
I think that. Sorry, I keep interrupting
No,
you.
please. We having a conversation. People interrupt each other in
That is
conversation.
such an excellent point because I went to school and I was very much adamant. I don't really care to mingle and mix with y'all too much because I'm moving from Michigan. I'm going to get my job in South Florida and I'm gonna be out of here. So literally I played like these words in my head. So these relationships don't really matter. And that is so foolish of me in hindsight, 10 years later, but that's a mindset shift. That is and it's a different time and place now, but
Yeah, but you were like 18, 19. So it wasn't foolish. You can't be foolish when you 18, 19. You are a fool. Like, that's what you're learning and you're growing, right? It's foolish if you are not able to recognize how to do something different. Now you're in a new environment. And that is why people, I'm like really an advocate of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because we want as much as possible, as many people as possible to get up to our level and be able to play with us, because it makes us more robust in whatever way to be able to interact with people with different experiences, period. But
Mm-hmm.
in your case, you might not know. My kids don't know that. It's but for me have realizing
Yes.
that was a missed opportunity. But let me tell these kids to move this way,
Yeah.
that they
Mm-hmm.
can either take what I'm suggesting or not
Right.
take what I'm
Or not.
suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
But it
Mm-hmm.
is definitely for me. So that mindset shift of what the purpose of college is and how it can still and is very so a very tactical example of how I use college right now is because I have a degree. My degree was in human resources. That allows me to do comedy in corporate settings,
Correct.
because corporate is like, oh, you can't bring that mess over here. We don't want
Yep.
nobody
Yep.
offended. We don't want no, like we like funny, and that's why we're gonna go to the club after work.
Latin X.
You know what I'm saying? We don't need you to say the R word, retarded, like stuff like that. Like,
Yes.
nah, I'm trying to make a joke. And so my degree gives me a niche specificity that my peers can't have.
Right.
I'm not out at this is not I'm not out at certain, the people be like, where can I find you? What comedy club are you going to be at this week? I'm trying to be
Right.
I
Right.
might be at
Right.
your job at Coca-Cola for employee appreciation week.
Okay. Yeah.
And so trust me, yes, I'm not unfortunately able to get paid $50 in a drink at a comedy club, but I can take these jokes and go on stage and be trusted that I can still make a room full at the end of the day is make a room full of people laugh. I can make a room full of people laugh on the corporate dollar
Mm-hmm.
instead of, in some other ways. So I'm grateful for the degree that did that. And, that's another way that I like when I'm on stage, I get to share my knowledge. And then afterwards, people come to me to ask me to be a consultant.
Yep.
I got an HR degree, so I'm gonna have some jokes about. I got jokes about work-life balance. I got a joke just talking about a HIPAA violation. I got
Mm-hmm.
jokes that's referencing things like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. If I'm entertaining 100 people, 12 of them gonna come up to me afterwards and say, do you do
Yeah.
this for employees? Do you do this for companies? And
Yeah.
four of them I could try to close from that number. So that's where I say, take that degree. That was a great thing. Take that corporate experience. That was a great thing, and use that in your entrepreneurship. The other mindset shift
Mm-hmm.
that I had to make was recognizing the difference between being a corporate girly. And this is what I tell people. To me, the deciding factor is whether or not you want to be a corporate girly or you want to be an entrepreneurial girly depends on, do you want to play offense or defense?
Okay.
And that means when I'm working for a company, when I'm working for somebody else, it is, unless I'm obviously business development,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, that's not my job, y'all, whether y'all got customers or clients or whatever. My job is to
Mm-hmm.
handle these employees that we done already hired. I don't
Right.
have to think about how do we get the money for me to do my job. I just have
Correct.
to think about staying good at doing my job. That's
Checking the task
defense.
off the list.
Checking the task off the list, or even, creating stuff, like all of that. I don't have to worry. I don't have any part of me that has to worry about the fishing. I get to cook the fish. Someone
Mm-hmm.
else went into the ocean and risked their lives to get the fish
Right.
and bring it back here. All I got to worry about is skinning this and cooking this, frying this. I ain't got nothing to do with none of that. So that's playing defense. I get to react to what comes in,
Mm-hmm.
versus as an entrepreneur, I am the one. If there are no, I live and die by whether or not we can pull some fish out the deep ocean.
Correct.
And I have to play offense.
Right.
I have to be trying to figure out how to meet new clients, how to get people interested in what I'm serving, how to get the cash, how to get the money to pay the bills. And then I can pass it on to whoever's in the kitchen in my operation that's
Right.
going to fry the fish. So that is the biggest thing. It's more than, do you want your own autonomy and yada yada, because we all do. We all do in some form of way want to have, like, some people, we all want that. That's
Mm-hmm.
not the biggest answer, because
Yeah.
things that we want for ourselves, we still don't do. We want to be healthier people that live long. That's really what we really want with every part of us. And we still make horrible decisions when we put in our bodies. So it's not about what we want. I go and I approach and that's the mindset shift. When I worked in HR, for somebody else, I had the mindset of like I was checking in and I was, doing my new hire orientation trainings and I was doing my thing for the company and my employee relations interviews and etc. And then when I said, "Oh, I'm about to be my own business. I don't got to deal with this. I don't like how y'all talking to me. I'm so smart. You're not
Yes.
using me in the right way. I'm so creative. I'm gonna do my own thing." The thing that was killing me was I had not shifted to you waiting for it to fall out the sky.
Yeah.
You better go up in the sky and get it.
Got to go get it.
But I
Yeah.
don't know how to fly. Figure it out.
I'm a fry the fish kind of girly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had a conversation with Daniel about this. And I guess maybe I'm still trying to figure that out, but I'm pretty sure I'm a fry the fish kind of girl because it's like you're saying, yes, I like autonomy. Yes, I still want to be creative. Yes, I still want, I don't want to be micromanaged. And from my previous experience, that was not available in a job, in a 9 to 5. But there are positions out there that allow me autonomy, that allow me creativity, that allow me to not be micromanaged, that allow me to express my opinion, that allow me to still have fun. Primarily found that out working with you, and we are still developing, all the ways that role shows up, but it checks off those boxes. And like you said, I don't have to worry about necessarily going
Right.
out and finding the clients or ensuring certain things for that company. While the role that I do help support that's
Right.
not my primary function in the company,
Yeah,
And
your primary function is making sure that the things that the person who is out on the boat, the things that I am doing, that I'm asking you for, your primary focus is making sure that that's good, that
correct,
you're hitting the mark of what I'm asking for. Now, my job is to ask for the right thing. My job
right,
is to find the opportunity and then come back to my team and say, this is what I need to be able to fulfill or to secure this opportunity. Your responsibility is to, I'm gonna put some good daggone seasoning on this. Oh, she ain't never had no
and
batter
it's gonna be
in
cool.
this, and it's going to be good based on what she is asking me for, right? And where the intersectionality between you and I is you becoming, you learning me more and recognizing what real questions you need to ask me to get the things that I need. Me making sure I'm asking the clients what real things do they need so that I can really secure them. Me getting good at making sure I'm clarifying for you what I'm expecting you to do and hoping you do that gives us what we need to keep the money going in. So there's intersectionality, like you said, you do influence what happens to the people that are out there fishing, but that's not what you wake up if you got some stress on the top of your mind is, did I fulfill the thing Allison asked me to do, and not, did we get the money from the client? Do we
Correct,
have a client? How do we get to in front of
correct,
a new person? So yeah.
correct. And those are definitely important gems. Shifting that mindset of, are you playing offense? Are you playing defense? And
Yep.
two, how are my experiences, previous lives lived, serving or
Mhm.
able to serve me in this new journey that I'm going on. So
Mhm.
we've been talking, but I have a
We've
couple
been
more
talking.
questions.
Okay,
Tell me,
girl.
what is the More Laughing Network? And you described your brand as funny, real, and inspiring. So how does that resonate with all the different arms of your network?
So the More Laughing Network is a bunch of different either entities, companies, projects that offer the same thing in some form or fashion. I'm gonna be funny. I'm gonna try my best to be resourceful, inspiring, and it's gonna be real. Like I'm in my way, I'm gonna identify what I feel like this is a real problem that we got over here, and I'm gonna call it out. And we're gonna do what we gotta do, and I'm gonna share what I've learned from this experience or whatever. That that is in everything that I do. The network, and whether that be where I'm producing content. So we have a production company, More Laughing Productions, and that's where we produce one of our top thing right project right now is the More Laughing in the Morning show. That's a a daily show on television, 30 minutes that we are waking up, being funny at the first of the day, the beginning of the day, inspiring an audience and giving them some tools to be their best selves and to level up their lives. Boom. That's the same thing. Also, I have Happy HR Partners where we run a consulting firm where we outsource human resources resources, services to companies to help them create and keep a happy, healthy work environment and culture. We help them through updating and keeping their compliance and things together to handling their challenges with their employees. And most of our companies that we work for are companies that don't have an internal HR person. If it is a large company that has HR, they might just want us to do, want me to come out and do a team builder session or something like that. But again, we're going to be real about the fact that this is a stressful environment. But hey, guess what? We all getting our checks and paying these bills. So let's laugh and let's get some resources. We've identified that maybe there's some customer service training that needs to happen, right? But again, I'm hitting these themes. That's the More Laughing Network. Everything we do, whether it be supporting companies in their HR, producing our own inspiring content, or having products. I have coffee, Black Please Coffee. It was the idea generated from a joke. I was literally on stage in real time, and me and that audience had a special connection. And I got some feedback and was like, in the moment, I have a coffee company. And again, it's this idea of now we're giving people something to have to be energized, to come together in community, to talk, to be happy, healthy, to discuss some maybe even challenges that are real going on in the world. Is leaning to the social aspect of community and people, but that's the network at a, I don't know, a philosophical level.
Mm-hmm.
um what was your other question? Because then the ADHD kicked
No,
in.
I was just asking you to tell me about it, and how your brand of being funny, real, and inspiring goes across all those different platforms. And I think one thing that you've done a really good job at, because we hear this seven streams of income, and we hear people, well, focus on one thing and be really, really good at that, And so sometimes that sounds like you can only do one thing. You can only be a comedian. You can only have an HR company. You could only do the television show. But I think you found your expertise in, as you said earlier, your energy, your relatability, and your inspiration. And that is where you're the expert. And so it's really cool to see how from that you branch off in these other pieces, right? You utilizing your skills, utilizing your talents and your goals and dreams and stuff. So, you know, for anybody out there who's like, well, I like to do this and I like to do that, and I'm really cool. I'm really interested in this, and that sounds fun. Find a way to synergize it all. What is the core of all these different ideas or things that you have in your head? And are you the expert in that? Because I think that makes it so much easier to branch off in these other categories, because it's like, okay, yeah, I'm providing a TV show. Well, what's the TV show going to be about? Well, it's going to be funny. It's going to be real. It's going to be inspiring. Boom. Okay, well, what's the funny part? You have your segment for that. What's the real part? You have your segment for that. What's the inspiring? Okay, you have your segment for that. Okay, HR. Well, what are we doing for HR? Funny, real, and inspiring. We want people to come to work and want to be here, inspire them to show up and do their best. We're identifying the real problems and everything that's going on and giving you real solutions. So, there's ways to just kind of pare things down and get real simple, real granular first, and then expand and bloom and blossom into all these amazing things. So I think that's really, really cool. So if you
Oh,
haven't given
thank
yourself
you.
a pat on the back, you deserve one for sure.
Thank you. Because I do see it. I have had people. I've had feedback from people that were like, you got a lot going on. You should just, what you really need to do is you really need to just like focus on one thing. And
Yeah.
I respectfully hear it, but I really don't let. I mean, my opinion can be switched. I'm a Taurus. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go 100% on something. And you could say something in 30 seconds and I completely flip, like, and change my mind. Like, that's a good
Yes.
idea. And I'm 100% locked in on that. You would have thought that was my whole tattoo, which is
Yes.
why I don't get a tattoo. I do not have a tattoo because I've been to change my mind.
Yeah.
And you won't see it coming
Same.
because I will be passionate. I will be a martyr
Same.
for a cause. And the moment I get some new information, I'm like, F that cause. Now I'm
Yeah.
a martyr for the absolute
Okay.
opposite, right?
Round up. Yeah.
Period. But so, I have had that feedback, but don't I'm like, you're just not my people. You don't see it because I am focusing on the one thing. I am, but like to me, I literally am, and I realize that I don't always think the same way as most humans. Y'all out here struggling. And I'm trying to, relate. I got a translator for the humans. But so I've had to just, swallow and I don't have anything to prove to people. And so I don't. I will just walk off. It's not because like I'm like, okay, great. And you just won't hear from me anymore. I don't have anything to prove. I'm not going to if I'm pushing back with you is because I want more information. I'm into this conversation. I appreciate it. I'm learning from it, but I don't argue. I don't debate. I don't whatever for people just for the sake of it, just because I'm got an attitude. Absolutely not. So therefore, in that case, I wouldn't really extend an explanation to them. But it's what you said to me. I really only see it as you focus on one thing. Okay, I am. I'm being funny. I'm being funny. I'm being real. Like you can't. I am good at helping people to get a point, and people don't want to listen to hard information for a long time to get the point. They're not sticking around to get it unless you're a little funny, unless you're a little entertaining. I am skilled. People, I'm gonna talk about racism and the impact that it has on certain communities. And people can stick around for the hard conversation a lot longer because I'm going to be funny, because I'm going to be real, because I know how to make sure you see, no, this does apply to you. And actually, you doing a little bit of it. But, if you stick with me, we could be cool. You ain't the monster your great granddaddy is, though. So, like, it's one of those situations where I know that that's my thing. And that's what I do and everything. So I don't see it as, oh, you're doing so many things. And I also say for some people, it may not be related. It may be air quotes all over the place. But then I am, because I'm definitely a queen at reframing. There's not anything that I can't say. I can see it a different way and make it work for my good. And I also believe that some people have a singular focus and a singular output, and that works for them to be really good and focus all of their energy on that thing. Whereas other people, the value that they bring, one of the values that I bring to the table, one reason why people do work with me is because I do have my hand in so many things.
Right, right,
And
right.
so therefore, for me, it benefits me to continue to do 4 and 5 different things. Like with my HR business, I got a client or two. If they ever feel like, well, I don't really need her for the HR piece, you don't have to, but I got a whole morning show. I am on 5 days a week and at least 250,000 households 5 days a week in the Hampton Roads market. So you may not want employee relations right now, but you do want to market your business. And but for me having my hands in these different things, my value would be absolutely. So for me, it works. And I encourage you, if you have the capacity to do it, do it. Do as many things as you want. We only have one life to live. Do 500 things if you have the capacity to do it. If you don't have the capacity to do it, don't project. Don't say to somebody else, well, you're all over the place. No, you can't handle 3 things. But don't put me down because I'm handling 3 things, because that's literally the reason how you know me. That's literally the reason why you got me up here. So that's my little rant. Thanks for listening.
Hey, this is your time, your stage to tell your story authentically and unapologetically. So go off,
Well,
okay?
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So my last question is just, what advice would you have anybody looking to get into comedy?
All right. So anyone who's looking to get into comedy, the advice that I would give is have your own opinion of yourself
Okay.
and be okay with that.
Okay.
Because if you don't lock in on your own opinion of yourself, of your sense of humor, of your brand, then you will not find stability because you're going to keep moving. Oh, okay, wait, no, I should probably do it like this because they like this. No, actually, I should do it like this because they like this. Like, it is what it is, in comedy, in anything really, but just speaking to comedians, you going to be funny to somebody.
Yeah.
You funny to somebody.
Yeah.
Even
Very
people who are not funny are funny to somebody. Everybody is funny to somebody.
yeah.
So just figure out what your funny look like. Like, articulate and define your funny. Put your own verbs, your own description, your own adjective, on your funny. And then lock in on that and then attract those people who like that. Some people like deep, dark humor. So I'm not going to win those people, but some people I am going to win, right? Some people like thoughtful humor. Some people like corny humor. Some people like lowbrow humor. Some people like nasty humor. Some people like that shock kind of humor. Some people like intelligent humor, like whatever it is. Some people are like real cornball stuff. Like that is why dad jokes
Our thing.
are a thing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like find what your lane is because you picked your lane, not because you're waiting for people. Just say, look, this is what it is and go for it because you can always change. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a thing where people get really stuck in their fear of I'm not funny or people might not think I'm funny. They're not. There are some people that's not going to think you're funny, but there are so many people that are going to think you're
Yeah.
funny. And the sooner that you label it, then the better you'll be able to find your people will be able to find you.
Perfect. I love that. Well,
Thanks.
Allison, I thank you so much. You've dropped so many gems, and we've talked about a lot today, from
Thank
comedy
you.
to entrepreneurship, production to just life and confidence in general. So, Let's Talk This is all about having the conversations, the tough conversations, whatever they might be. So, I want to ask you, what is one thing you want to challenge our audience? What conversation do you want to challenge them to have based on what we discussed today?
The one thing that I want to challenge them to have based on what we discussed today is just ask yourself the real reason why you are not moving in the thing that you want to move in, right? Like, just really be honest with yourself because people who are not moving in what they're supposed to be moving in, what they really want to move in, they're bitter, they're angry, they're haters, they're depressed. I think depression links so much to hopelessness. Hopelessness to me is this void of having something to look forward to. When you're not moving in something that gives you excitement, interest, joy, all of that, you be in a dark place. And then you start projecting. And so I like to ask people, we've been talking about like confidence and stuff, because if confidence is the real reason why you are not doing your thing, then I would encourage you to go back in your history, your what have you done before that this would run circles around, or that shows you that you can do it, right? Like how we were talking about in the beginning. I find my confidence from what I've done in my history. If the real reason why you are not doing that doggone thing, you have not written that book, you have not done your play, you have not done your technical something something something, if the real reason is because of lack of resources, is then say that I
Right.
would do this if I had $15,000 and go get it. I would do this if I could, create a, whatever. What's it called when you do a demo, but I
Mm-hmm.
need blah, blah, blah to do it. Then go find that, right? Like we stop short of asking ourselves the full question and wait and making ourselves think through the answer. We just like, I'm tired. I don't have time, so I couldn't do the thing. And it's like, yo, this
Mm-hmm.
is a thing that has been in your heart since you were a kid, or something that you know would change your family, change you, is what you would want to do. Why are you tired? Ask yourself, why are you so tired? How is it we are so tired and we're not doing anything we love doing? We got to put some pressure on where we are in life. You mean to tell me you are so exhausted? You can't chase a dream? Something
Mm-hmm.
needs to get up off of your day. Something is on your calendar that should not be on your calendar if you're too tired to chase your dream. So it's like, what's stopping you? And now
Mm-hmm.
let's put a solution in place. And Shekinah, and I'll end with this on our show. The More Lapping in the Morning show is about what we want to introduce comedy, funny, just this moment of happiness into the morning, because I believe that's an antidote to having a good day. You start off your morning on a good note. You wake up, you're like, oh, I'm feeling good today. Yeah, I'm out here.
Yep.
I'm outside. A good morning is gonna get you a good day. One good day gonna get you a couple of good days that week. A whole bunch of good days a week is a good week turns into months. Like, let's improve our life, right? And so how we make sure we help the world have a good morning is by giving something funny. And now we're gonna give you something helpful. We're gonna help you say, let's set the intention for the day. Today I'm not slapping nobody, okay? Because y'all made me slap somebody yesterday and it ended up not being good
Okay.
for me. I had
Not
to spend a night
today.
overnight in jail. So
Okay.
today I'm not gonna slap anybody. And now we go into having our This Time Next Year segment, which is all about learning from people, from their stories, so that we can make steps to where we want to be by this time next year. This time next year, we can transform your life. Where I was in 2024, This time last year, I was very stressed, very not, things was just not coming together. Life was just not, ugh. It was
Nice.
February of 2024 was whack. March of 2024 for my business stuff, it was just whack. And now we up. So in a year, in a month, in 6 months, things can change. And we have got to stop letting ourselves be
Get in the
easy
way.
on ourselves. Be easy on ourselves. Why
Yeah.
aren't you doing the thing you want to do? Because by this time next year, your whole world could change. Are you willing to sit with that?
Yeah. All right, y'all. You got the challenge. You know what to do. As always, let me know how it goes. Comment. Tell me what you said. Tell me what you said to yourself. Right? Why are you not doing the thing you said you wanted
Mhm.
to do, need to do, got to do? Get on it, and let me know. We want to know. And Allison, thank you so much. Before we go,
Thank you.
please let the people know where they can find you because you've dropped so many gems today. I can only imagine what being a part of the network can, the value that can add. So plug yourself, friend. Let them know.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, first of all, Shekinah, this is a great platform and podcast. And thank you. Like this space, Let's Talk Sis. Thank you. Because I felt welcomed and I didn't feel performative. And thank you for what you're creating. And I think that this is some place that women get to talk because, hey, sis, we do have something to say. So you are a queen for this. I'm excited about, where you're going with this. We should have you on the More Laughing in the Morning show. So shout out to your listeners. You're going to see Shekinah up here on our show because everybody needs to see what you're creating. Um, for me, yes, you can follow me on social media. I'm getting better at actually posting in real time on social media. I'm quiet, but it is not because we're not moving, it's because my capacity. But we got an intern. I have an amazing person that's helping spearhead my marketing. Shout out to Shekinah. She was like, girl, this is not okay to not have people knowing what's going on. So let me help you. So because of you and your expertise, your creativity, all your talents, we'll have our website up very soon. You can learn about the show if you want to follow our morning show, More Laughing in the Morning with Allison, the comedian, and friends. You can go to mlmshow.com. Thanks to Shekinah TTT. If you are like, you know what, I'm feeling that vibe, I'm feeling their energy, I want to be in a community like that. We have a community. Our This Time Next Year community is where we're holding each other accountable, where we are like, you know what, there is a space of people here that are like, yo, what's up? You said you want to have a talk show by this time next year. What are you doing? Did you do anything this week towards that? We are that community. So you can find out more about that. We have memberships, we have activities. We're like-minded people that we trying to move forward. We trying to grow. I got a growth mindset around here. That's TTNY community.com. This time next year, community.com. The show is on Monday through Friday in the Hampton Roads. You can turn to Channel 4 if you have cable. And most people that have cable, they don't drive at night. And that's okay. Shout out to the aunties and the granddads because we appreciate you. The content is for you too. If you are like, girl, ain't nobody got cable, that's cool. It's gonna be on YouTube. Go to Shekinah said me, that would be me. Go to the, well, I mean, I had to get cable too because I didn't have it. And my aunt was like, did you watch it on the show? I was like, no, I watched it on YouTube. She was like, you need to get, why don't you, it's your
Right? You
show.
can't watch
I
your
was like,
own
oh,
show.
that's a good point. That's a good point. So I got it. So I got it, but otherwise I wouldn't be having it either.
Yes.
And but you can go on YouTube. We're gonna have it. Our new season starts Monday, March 10th, 7:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. The More Laughing in the Morning show is there. And if you go on YouTube, you'll see what we're creating. And if you like it and you want to support, we would appreciate it because right now we're looking for sponsors and advertisers. I am really offering some very, very low priced, high value sponsorship and advertisement ads because we really want to get our first takers, our first buyers, our first investors, and we really want to take good care of them as the show grows this year. So if you work in the marketing department or you have a business that you have money for advertising or sponsorship, or you have a message, you got a campaign, or if you have an event that you want to promote for 2 or 3 weeks, we are definitely a great platform that will give you a good community. Our community is engaged and you can find us there too. So that's me, Allison the comedian. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and More Laughing in the Morning show. Thank you, Shekinah.
My pleasure. Thank y'all, and thank you, Allison. Thank y'all for tuning in to another week with Let's Talk Sis. If y'all didn't learn anything, if y'all didn't get something, you probably were not listening. Okay, so just rewind the episode, play it again, and send this to anybody you know who's looking to break into comedy, become an entrepreneur, or just want a good conversation to listen to. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Like and subscribe. See you next week. Bye. Our signature
Doodles.
pose.
Right. That's